Hi, good day, my YouTube family. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shinik Favre. A warm welcome to you. So today we are taking a journey through the books of the Old Testament, starting off at the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis is the first book in the Old Testament. Can anybody tell me what the word Genesis means? If you guess the beginning or of birth, you are correct. Term of reference for the beginning is Genesis 1 1, and term of reference of birth is Genesis 2 4. So let us dive right in. Then Genesis permits us to view realities through different multitudes, through the creation of heaven and earth, the creation of plant, animal, and human life. Do you want to dive a little further? Okay, Genesis goes on to describe marriage, family, nations, industries, artistic expression, religious rituals, prophecies, sin, crime, conflict, punishment, and even death. All that is packed within one book, Genesis. Can't anybody tell me who wrote the book of Genesis? Can anybody tell me who wrote the book of Genesis? If you guess Moses, you are correct. So we are going to dive a little further into not only the multitudes of views of reality which Genesis express, not only the who wrote Genesis, but we're going to go a little further. Just hold on, be patient with me. Genesis' message and purpose is broken down under four subheadings: creation, human life, sin, and covenant. Creation. Creation says God is a sovereign Lord, a creator of all things. He created everything without nothing. There was no pre existing material. He is the creator. He is a creator. He is the creator, not a craftsman. He indicates that God has infinite power, separate from created order, and no part of creation can be considered an extension of God. No part of creation can be considered an extension of God, because he is good and a majestic God. Wow. Under segment 2, human life. Who can tell me who was the first human to be created? If you guess Adam and Eve, you are correct. Man was created in the image and the likeness of God, unique from every other form of creation. We were meant to have fellowship with God. That's our sole purpose, to have fellowship, to worship God. Humans are paradox. On one hand, people are a capstone of all God creation, created in God's image and positioned as God-like authority over all things, all realm of creation. You see the authority you have over all realm of creation. We were created to have fellowship with God, and we also have authority over all realm of creation. Wow. Point of reference to that, you can go to Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 29, and Genesis 9, verses 1 to 3. On the other hand, human life are sinners, using God-given resources and abilities in ways to violate God's laws. That is found in Genesis 2, verse 17, and Genesis 3, verse 6, to hurt other people. Even so, during their lifetime, God expects people to follow his laws. Genesis 4, verse 7, and bless them who go according to God's ways. Okay, so just read through the books of Genesis and you'll find all that. Okay, dive another further. Segment 3, sin. Evil and sin did not originate with God. Adam and Eve were created innocent and with the capability to make their own choices. Sin entered the earth at a particular place and time in history. Adam and Eve chose freely to disobey God. Adam and Eve chose freely to disobey God and fell from innocence and lost their freedom. Their sinful nature has passed on to other human beings. Sin resulted in death, both physically and spiritually. Sin led the world of pain and struggle. The last point on the message and purpose in Genesis is 4. Covenant. Genesis is a narrative of relationships. Certainly, the relationship grounded with covenant with God. The heart of this covenant is the phrase, "They shall be my people and I shall be their God," found in Jeremiah 32 and verse 38. Genesis also goes on to talk about the covenant between the first man, Adam, and the covenant between Abraham in the major events in Genesis and throughout the Bible. God called Abraham out of Ur and to go to the land of Canaan, promised him to make him a great nation. So let's learn more about Genesis. Genesis' contribution to the Bible. Genesis lays the groundwork for anything we may read and experience. Through Genesis, we understand where we came from, how we came to be, how we arrive at our fallen state, and the beginnings of God's original plan for us. How we're supposed to live in communion with Him, the covenant between God and man. We are solely supposed to worship Him and have dominion over all things, and His miraculous, gracious work on our behalf. And Genesis unfolds God's original purpose for humanity. Genesis provides the foundation from which we understand God's covenant with us and Israel in establishing His given law. Wow. So let us worship God in our true image. Can you imagine life if we never fall, if we never sin, if man never sin? Can you imagine how life would be glorious, just worshiping our Creator? Just fellowship, just worshiping our Creator and having dominion over everything. And God meeting us in the midst of the garden and talking to us and asking us, how do we do, how our day went? Can you believe? There'll be less pain, less struggle. So let us, every step we take, let us try to be more righteous. Let's try to live our life more on the glory and honor of God. Because our original purpose was just to worship Him, just to have communion with Him. Please let us not break our communion every day by sinning. Please try to live our life in the image and likeness of God, what we're truly supposed to be. Okay, so that's the end of our devotional tonight. An overview of Genesis. So the next up on our road trip, we are taking a trip to Exodus. So each book of the Old Testament, we are given a snapshot or overview of the structure, the message and purpose, who wrote it, the meaning of each of the books before we dive into the chapters. Because we cannot clearly understand each of the chapters if we do not know why it was written, who wrote it, what was the purpose and message of it. So let us bear patience. So like, share, and subscribe so that we can get more good news about the Holy Bible and the foundation of Christianity. So bye-bye.